Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're seeing right now in the NFL, especially in the NFC North, is nothing short of a seismic shift. The Green Bay Packers, a franchise with a rich history, a team that's been synonymous with resilience, strategic genius, and some of the best defenses in the league, might be on the cusp of something even bigger. And it all revolves around a potential move that could redefine their roster and their championship aspirations. You've seen their defense shine in the first few weeks of the season, right? I mean, in those initial games, they looked like a brick wall, a squad that nobody could crack. Their pass rush was relentless, their secondary was disciplined, and it seemed like the Packers had re-established themselves as one of the top defensive units in the league. But there's always a but in football. Just as quickly as they rose to the top, they faced a humbling reality. That came in the form of the Dallas Cowboys, who, in a stunning display, dropped 40 points on the Packers' defense. That's right, 40 points. And that's a wake-up call for Brian Gutekunst, the Packers' GM, who's been building this team with a mix of veteran savvy and youthful promise. You can imagine, after such a game, he's probably thinking about some strategic changes, especially on the defensive side, to ensure that this kind of performance doesn't happen again. It's clear that the Packers, right now, are looking at their roster with a keen eye, evaluating what works and what doesn't. One of the most talked about rumors circulating recently involves a potential trade proposal that could shake up the entire NFC North landscape. And it's centered around a talented cornerback from Cleveland, Greg Newsome II. Now, you might remember Newsome as a key player for the Browns, someone who started every game this season and has been a reliable presence in their secondary. But here's the kicker. There's a strong belief among analysts like Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report that the Browns might be open to trading Newsome before the deadline. And why? Because Cleveland's season isn't exactly what they hoped for. Their defense, which has been their stronghold, is still holding up, but their offense and special teams are struggling to keep pace. They need difference makers on offense, players who can turn games around with a single play, and Newsome, while a star in the making, isn't necessarily seen as a long-term piece for their future. Now, let's break down why this trade makes sense, especially for the Packers. Nate Hobbs, who was brought in as part of the secondary, has honestly been a disappointment. His performance hasn't met expectations, and he's been the weak link in their defensive chain. Even Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, has struggled to hide his flaws. Meanwhile, Newsome, despite having his worst season last year, has bounced back remarkably this year. He's been good, very good, and at just 25 years old, he's entering the prime of his career. He's in the 5th year of his rookie deal, which means he's on the cusp of free agency, and the Browns might not be able or willing to keep him around long-term, especially if Martin Emerson Jr. hadn't gotten injured. That injury was a blow to Cleveland's plans, and it might have accelerated their willingness to trade Newsome. What's particularly appealing about Newsome is his versatility. He's capable of playing both nickel and outside corner spots, splitting time almost evenly throughout his 5-year career. That kind of flexibility is gold for a defensive coordinator like Matt LaFleur, who wants to deploy multiple looks and matchups against different offenses. Newsome's ability to adapt to different roles, to cover across the field, and to bring athleticism and intelligence to the position makes him an ideal fit for the Packers' defensive scheme. Imagine him paired with their current secondary, adding a young, talented, and versatile presence to a unit that's been inconsistent at times, but has the potential to be dominant. And here's where things get even more interesting. If the Browns continue to slip in the standings, especially with their offensive struggles and the uncertainty around their personnel, they might be more open to trading Newsome for future draft picks or other assets. For Green Bay, acquiring a player like Newsome could be a game-changer, especially if they're looking to bolster their secondary for a playoff push. Remember, the Packers have been known for their strong defensive units, and adding a player of Newsome's caliber could be the missing piece to turn their defense into an elite force once again. With players like him, they could effectively neutralize some of the division rivals' top receivers and create more turnovers, which is crucial in close games. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The Packers have been in a bit of a rebuilding mode lately, trying to find their identity after a few seasons of transition. But this season, there's a sense that they're closer than ever to returning to that championship level. Their offense, led by Jordan Love, has shown flashes of brilliance, and their offensive line has been relatively solid. But it's the defense that could really make or break their season. You see, a defense that can force turnovers, pressure the quarterback, and cover at a high level can carry a team deep into the playoffs. And Newsome, with his ball skills and coverage ability, could be that difference maker. On the other side, Cleveland's situation is a bit more complicated. Despite their solid defense, their inability to capitalize on that strength with an effective offense has their season hanging in the balance. They need to find solutions, either through trades or internal development, to get their offense moving and make a real push for the postseason. But the reality is, if they do decide to trade Newsome, it's likely because they see a better future in future draft picks or younger players that can better fit their long-term plans. For the Packers, a trade now could be strategic, especially if Cleveland is willing to part ways for a reasonable price. It's a move that could pay dividends in the second half of the season, especially if Green Bay aims to solidify their secondary and challenge for the NFC North title once again. Imagine the defensive improvements they could make, the matchups they could dominate with Newsome on the field. It's a move that could send ripples through the division, forcing their rivals to rethink their strategies and game plans. And let's not forget, this isn't just about a single player. It's about the message it sends to the rest of the league. Green Bay is serious about contending, about reclaiming their spot at the top, and about building a roster that's versatile, talented, and hungry for a Super Bowl. This type of move, trading for a player like Newsome, signals that they're willing to be aggressive, to seize opportunities when they arise, and to make bold decisions for the benefit of the team. In the end, what does all this mean for you, the fans? Well, it's an exciting time. The NFL is always full of surprises, and this potential trade could be one of the biggest storylines in the second half of the season. Whether it happens or not, it shows the level of strategic thinking and the kind of moves that the Packers are considering to get back to their winning ways. It's a testament to how competitive and unpredictable this league really is. And for us fans, it just makes following every game, every play, every decision even more thrilling. We're on the edge of our seats, waiting to see what happens next, hoping that whatever moves are made will bring us closer to that ultimate goal, the Super Bowl. So keep your eyes peeled, stay tuned, and let's see how this story unfolds. Will Green Bay pull the trigger and land Newsome? Will Cleveland decide to cut their losses and rebuild? Whatever the outcome, one thing is for sure. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and the Packers are right in the thick of it. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news.